Good morning. It's David, and today is the 3rd of February in 2021. I wanted to first share with you a huge day in my life yesterday. Oh, I forgot to put something on. I forgot to put this sticker on. Oh, I'm color coordinated too. I got vaccinated yesterday. Yay! Being the extremely high risk um, target that I have been for, well, a year now. Uh, I was really anxious for yesterday to come, and it was a very, very interesting experience. Uh, I I got my vaccination. It was a drive-through situation. It was a parking garage underneath a hospital. And it just so happens that when the trials were being done, Moderna tested in that building just above where I was getting. Interestingly enough, I did not get a Moderna shot. I got a Pfizer shot. The official name is Pfizer EM 9810. And I asked the individual who was actually about 3 different people signed us in. Uh, well, I asked what vaccination I was getting, and I said, well, aren't you doing Moderna? And actually, they alternate. They one day they do Pfizer, one day they do Moderna. I found that very interesting. Anyways, it was a drive-through. I don't drive a car. Red flag. And so I called a friend who uh, took me to get my vaccination. And I see a friend by the name of Steve Waller is watching. Good morning, Steve. I don't know that you and I have spoken since I got vaccinated. But anyways, I got a friend of mine picked me up. We drove through. Then I actually 2 friends, Bob and Janet Banks. Thank you for taking me. Then I got out of the car and I went into one of the labs at UC Health. The UC Health is my HMO of record, and everything I have done there. So it was kind of interesting. I really wanted to get my vaccination there. So I got some blood work done, got on a bus, and then came home. And I was home for not longer than 10 minutes. And I get a knock on my door. I live in an apartment and I hardly ever get a knock on my door. And an individual gave me this vase of flowers. I said, OMG. Uh, I've never gotten flowers, so it was the first time yesterday. I said, somebody must really like me. And as I dug around to see who really liked me, that vase of flowers came from Chewy.com. I was just taken when I saw that. Uh, I became a customer at Chewy.com about 6, 7 months ago, and Kitty Cat was having some changes going on, and I needed to make some adjustments in what I was buying and how I was buying it. At any rate, I became a Chewy.com customer. Very, very um, impressed with the way that they ran their operation. Uh, Along the way, I only had one little issue, called them up and taken care of in 10 seconds. But a couple days ago, I got one thing that Chewy.com does very smartly is they time a repeat delivery of the item that you bought. Then they send you an email a couple days before um, is to be delivered, and you have the opportunity to cancel at that time. Well, I did take it the first time it was offered to me, but then I found out that I had way too much stuff. I had all this stuff. I had pounds and pounds and pounds of litter, and kitty cat was 8.4 pounds. And so I canceled that. What do they call it? Retention. I don't know, they have a special name for it. Great idea, and certainly reminds you that maybe you need stuff. That's why they do it. I'm going to sell you more product. But I sent a note to them. I emailed back to them just 3 or 4 days ago, and said that I don't I'm a very satisfied customer. That no need to. I won't be buying any more product because I euthanized kitty cat 3 weeks ago. 2 or 3 days after I sent that email was yesterday, and they sent me that a vase of flowers with a beautiful little note. And I'm telling you, once again, they have demonstrated what a customer friendly company they are, and they certainly made my day yesterday by giving me this. So it was really nice. Well, then after I sat down, I started to read the 3-page disclaimer, if you will, fact sheet for recipients, caregivers about the vaccination. And I'm reading this thing and I'm saying, oh Lord, what have I gotten myself into? Obviously, Pfizer had to write every disclaimer that they possibly could at the point where they were in their research. We knew the world was watching Pfizer and Moderna, so they weren't going to get slip anything in. But quite a few times, this person help you understand the risks and benefits. So I got a long name, which you may receive because there is currently a pandemic of COVID-19. That's why they were giving me the COVID-19 vaccine, obviously. And then they had one other line in here that they said quite a few times. There is no U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, approved vaccine to prevent COVID-19. Well, we all know that to be the case. Pfizer and Moderna and Johnson & Johnson now all were getting emergency operation approval to administer the vaccine, and thank God they did. And so I just found that fun. So I'm reading all these things, and then I'm reading what the side effects may be. And I knew that my arm didn't hurt by that time. That was a couple hours after I got the shot. And I really did. I was feeling okay, but I was reading all these things, and they said if you get them, well, certainly if they become serious, call 911, get in touch with your doctor, emergency, whatever, to get it going. But if it's just slight kinds of things, they said you could take Tylenol or ibuprofen. Well, I can only take Tylenol because of Hello, Gwyneth Anderson. How are you today? I can only take Tylenol products because I've been taking an anticoagulant for 26 years now because I have a mechanical heart valve, and that was actually the risk factor, the highest risk factor that I had. I've had the valve for 26 years. That's why I take a flu shot every year for the last 26 years. We can't let infection get into my valve, or it doesn't matter what the infection is going to do to your rest of your body, because if it gets into my valve, it's a mess. Well, if a COVID-19 virus germ infection got into my valve, that would do me in, and not the COVID-19. Isn't that great to know? Well, anyways, so I was reading all these things. They said you could take Tylenol. I actually have been taking extra strength Tylenol, and that's the only thing that I've taken when you need to take something like that for the last 26 years. So I took, to me, I said, well, why wait till some of these things may come on? Why don't I try to get ahead of the whole thing and just take some Tylenol? So I just took 2 extra strength Tylenol. I laid down and I fell asleep. And so I got ahead of what might have happened. Nothing has happened. Although my phlebotomist yesterday, the one who drew blood for the monthly blood draws I have to have, she, and I've known her for a lot of years. She's run the labs where my blood has been drawn, so she knows me as a patient probably for 7 or 8 years now. And there is Susan Shore from my hometown of Canton, Ohio. The Shore family. As I say every time I see Susan come on one of my broadcasts, grew up, their home was on 30th Street Northwest. And my home, I grew up on 32nd Street Northwest, so I lived 2 blocks away and up the hill. But they lived real close to our grade school where we went. Had lots of good times in that grade school, didn't we, Susan? To that, oh boy, this happened yesterday too. I was reading something and in my Facebook stream, and somebody asked a question, do you remember your first date? And I thought about it for a second, and I said, yes, it was in my kindergarten class. I was 6 years old, 5 or whatever age you are, and I was playing. We had a little kitchen, and we were playing house, and that was our day. And the crazy thing about it was, I was one of a very few males in my kindergarten class. Most of the males, for whatever reason, went in the afternoon session, and I went in the morning session. And so that was my first date. Anyways, away from Jesse H. Mason School. So I took the Tylenol, got ahead of everything, and things are fine. My phlebotomist yesterday, she was drawing blood for 2 other tests that I get, she said, well, wait till you get the second shot. She said 10 hours after she got the second shot, she had some type of reaction. But, you know, it is what it is. I've had to take every single kind of risk there is as far as medical things go in my life, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be having this Facebook Live session. So, great day yesterday. related to yesterday, I wanted to share with you something that I always remember about 2020 and 2021 is all the commotion that we've had about wearing a mask. And now they're telling us that maybe need to wear two masks if you do not have one of those powerful, N95s, whatever they are. So here with you a lovely mask experience I've had the last year. Well, it's not even a year old yet. This is my first mask that I actually purchased, except for some, the blue ones. And a friend of mine sent me an email asking me if I would be interested in buying this mask. And it was being made by a local artist, and all artists and all monies collected would go to some type of fund for the artist. And I said, sure, only if the artist signs the mask. So I have a signed mask that I have to put under a magnifying glass. I can't even read it anymore. But that was major mask number one. Major mask number two. My two oldest granddaughters who live in New York City, they left New York City with their father and mother and baby sister and went to Knoxville, Tennessee for 3 months, where the maternal grandparents live. So they spent 3 months there. On my birthday on a Sunday in May, the first Sunday in May last year, total surprise. My son drove up from Knoxville, which is a 4-hour drive, to Cincinnati for my birthday. And my granddaughters gave me this mask, which I guess was made in Knoxville, Tennessee, I would assume. I don't know if it was made in New York. It had to be made in Knoxville. I did not get the full story on that. So in honor of yesterday's event where I was going to get a vaccine, I wore a new mask. I bought a new mask, and I bought it in Amazon. I guess I saw it advertised somewhere. I might have seen it advertised in my Facebook feed. I don't know. But I bought this new mask yesterday, and a month ago, I bought this insert to the mask so that the mask stays away from my face and I can breathe better and talk better. So I got that. I guess that's kind of 2 layers, but if I need another layer, I've got this. Oh man, you know how excited I was to get this mask? So we're masked. We are prepared for masks. Of course, we will use them long after the second vaccine, until Dr. Fauci and folks say it's okay to take your masks off. Then, final event that happened last night to really make for a very memorable day, I started packing my home because in 58 days, I'm going to be living in Columbus, Ohio. Why Columbus, Ohio? Good question. Unexpectedly, I just found out New Year's Eve is that I was going to be headed towards Columbus because my son and daughter-in-law and 2 grandsons who live in Utah this weekend, they will be living in Columbus. They bought a home. They didn't tell us, didn't tell the family anything. They just did from the time they made the decision to do it. They actually had closed on their home, and that was the announcement they made New Year's Eve. So I said, wow, that's going to simplify my life, because one of my goals for 2021 was going to be to celebrate my grandchildren's birthdays face to face with each of them. Um, Three of them in New York City, three granddaughters, two grandsons who are going to be living in Columbus. Uh, and my son and Sarah deciding to move back to Columbus made my life all the easier. So it was getting to be pretty crazy on how I was going to be able to spend equal time with the two sets of grandchildren. Thank you, Jordan and Sarah, for making my life and decision much more simple than it was getting. So I started packing, and I don't have a lot to pack. Actually, it's crazy. There'll be very little furniture going to Columbus as I look around. Uh, it won't take movers long to pack up and move me and unpack. I'll bet, being in Columbus, they could pack me, drive to Columbus, and unpack me, if they were good, in under 5 hours. How about that? So, what a day yesterday. Excuse me. This morning, actually it was last night, but I didn't include it in the events of yesterday. I was reading a very interesting story following absolutely one of the top 3 innovative entrepreneurs of all times, a man by the name of Steve Bezos. I'm sorry, Jeff. Sorry, Jeff. Jeff made the announcement yesterday that he was stepping down as CEO of Amazon, a company that he started from scratch. He's going to be the executive chairman of the company. And obviously, he won't be involved in day-to-day operations. The gentleman who ran his cloud, the Amazon cloud, which has to be a massive, it's got to be the biggest cloud in the world. Oh, no. Google has to have the biggest cloud in the world, but I'll bet Amazon is second. So Jeff, well, I'm sure you all saw the last time the announcement came out that Jeff Bezos was the wealthiest in Forbes list, the wealthiest person on the face of the earth. Today, his net worth is estimated to be over about $225 billion, I believe, $225 billion, which probably the next 3 or 4, I don't think 5, I'll have to look at the list, but maybe the next 4 folks in line would total what Jeff Bezos had. And not only did he have it, but his ex-wife of a year ago, she has to be the wealthiest woman on the face of the earth, because she, in a very friendly, amicable separation breakup, she got $75 billion. And I've been reading some stories about her. She's a very, very giving person. I think she made one of the first multi-billion-dollar donations to charity that was made. We're going to see a lot more charitable giving coming from the Bezos. No question about that. But as I was looking this morning, I got some figures in an email about how large Amazon is, and it is unbelievable. For the first time, the retail giant earned more than $100 billion of revenue in a single quarter. It recorded almost $126 billion in sales between October and December. Unbelievable. And all the rest of the retailers, Amazon has made all of their lives simple. This is the first time that I've ever seen. I've been studying retail marketing for 50 years, but this is really the first time, and it's been going on now for over 5 years, 6 years, that Walmart, who has always been the world's largest retailer with a storefront, they were seeing significant loss of market share, probably to Amazon. So Walmart spent somewhere between $1 and $2 billion to get themselves online as best as they could. And I hear, I don't use them, but I read that that they're doing a pretty good job of that. Maybe better online than some of the retail store offline box store stories that we read and hear about. So it's going to be interesting. Jeff Bezos I say that Jeff Bezos is to the retail world that Henry Ford was to the automobile world. Absolutely, that innovative, that important. Thank goodness that when we were locked up in quarantine in our homes, that we had an opportunity to buy online. I've placed, I think, 4 orders, maybe with. I'm sure I've placed 4 orders with Whole Foods, a company that Amazon bought a couple years ago. And I was very impressed in how they handled it, and it went through Instacart, who I don't particularly like, but the experience was a very good one. And well, that's a whole new phenomenon. Is the home delivery of stuff. If an individual is thinking about starting a business, there's more opportunity now. I can say this without reservation. There's more opportunity now for businesses to get started and to grow and to do whatever they're going to do than any other time I've seen in my 50 years of paying attention to business. So it's going to be very exciting to see where we go. Let's see. The last thing I wanted to share with you today. And Steve, I'm not doing 19 minutes, Steve. I'm now at 29 minutes. I'm 10 minutes on. And Steve is still watching. Thank you, Steve, because I usually ask for 19 minutes of time, and now we're at 29. Today, I read in LinkedIn a posting that a friend of mine posted. Not only a friend of mine, he's one of my mentors, and I've done many recorded videos with him. If any one of my sites, any one of my 7 or 8 websites that you go to, you will see a video with David Amerlin. But David is the most insightful, individual I've ever met in my life. And he came up with this diagram on human behaviors. It's not titled. It's on human behaviors, and it's color coded and 8 petals. And I sent him a text message this morning or last night. David's in Greece now. He's been in Greece during the whole pandemic. I said, explain. Why don't we do a recorded video, and you can explain, because this is the most comprehensive behavioral analysis I've ever seen. I think, because I don't know. I mean, there's so much stuff going on here, and I want David to explain it. So I am sure he will agree to talk. Actually, there was another topic appropriately that I had questioned him on, and it's how he is branding himself right now, and he's branding himself. He's a foremost author and authority. Um, when Google Plus was a thing, David was probably the number one. His community was probably the number one community in all of Google Plus, and so he's had to start over again. And he writes books, and he's got a book coming out right now, and I wonder if this is going to be in the book. He hasn't told me too much about it, and he's waiting until the book comes out. So that's coming up. And I won't be doing a whole lot of bantering with him. He's too intense to banter. No, it will be a lot of fun. I wanted to explain to me what this thing is all about. Okay, that's going to be it for today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and watch. Please, send questions, text me, tell me you want to banter with me sometime. You can text me. My personal text SMS, it's a Google voice over IP number, is 513-696-6249, 513-696-6249. You can text me, and I'm the only one that reads it. I will respond to it. We can banter. You have questions, whatever it might be, because that's the kind of community we want to have in justbantering.tv. My name is David, and I've enjoyed the time with you today. Hope you've enjoyed the time, and I'll see you the next time. As my old friend from a long time ago, Jaime Williams, used to say, I'll see you the next time, which may very well be the best time.